There is a Jamaican saying that says, Massa got fish can't done.
We, as the fishermen, we didn't go the way to try to save it and protect it. So it's now overfished. All our reef and coral is all gone. There's not a lot of fish in it anymore.
You have to spend one whole day, sometimes 6 o'clock. We don't come from sea yet because no fish, no lobster, they are dying out.
I go further, I work longer, I work harder, and the catch is just the same.
I used to like go out in the morning and come back like 1 o'clock and have a lot of fish. You can send home some money and save some.
1983, I used to set 10 pots. The amount of fish that the 10 pot usually catch, if you said 60 now, it just said catch.
When I first went to Key in 1969, the fishing was very booming. Fish was very plentiful and we never have to venture far at sea. 10, 15 years ago, we find that there's a heavy depletion in the fishing industry.
I have probably the second largest seafood restaurant on the south coast. And I can tell you that it pains my heart when I have to buy imported fish. And unfortunately, it's happening more and more. I take pride in saying that I support my community in farming and fishing. And when I have to draw that check to that overseas supplier, knowing it's overseas fish, it's a hard check to sign.
Overfishing in Jamaica is caused by new fishing technologies, the industrialization of the conch and lobster fishery, weak enforcement, poaching by foreign vessels, and a chronic lack of jobs. High unemployment means more and more people turn to fishing for their livelihood. Uncontrolled coastal development, pollution, and rising sea temperatures are destroying vital marine environments such as mangroves, seagrass beds, and coral reefs, which serve as important fish nurseries and feeding grounds. Fish and sea eggs which graze on the algae and keep reefs healthy are also disappearing due to overfishing and disease. Jamaica is the most overfished country in the Caribbean. Experiencing Jamaican fisheries for the first time while on the Pedro Bank, Belize fisher and conservationist Brian Young expressed dismay at what he saw.
I'm kind of lost for words right here, right now. It takes me a little while before I can digest all of this. Certainly I can see a major environmental issue because of the method of fishing that is using. And I also see a major humanitarian issue because of the method of fishing that is using. The island itself is another major humanitarian issue. There's water concerns, there is the garbage concern. I noticed that it's a nesting site for boobies as well, that's another concern.
When I saw in Jamaica that the fishermen were harvesting with scuba and it's legal, that really hurt me because you're at the very tail end right now. In the past, they probably were harvesting from dory as well, and then they were going shallow and then they went deep. Now you're at the very limit of where it ends. After that, there is nothing. You're at the very end. And at the very end right now, it's not much either, and something needs to be done very, very quickly.
We need to get people to stop using dynamite, which not only kills the fish, but destroys the reefs, which is the habitation for reef fish. People still use bleach to kill the fish, very small mesh to catch fish. That catches the little babies, and then they don't throw them back when they're picking them out. They actually allow them to die. People don't seem to love sliced fish anymore. They want to see the head, the middle, and the tail. And that is not good, because plate-sized fish is still a juvenile fish dependent on the fish. The snappers that would be 20 inches long or 28 inches long are now being caught at 8 inches. That's still a juvenile fish. Fisher folks are robbing themselves of bigger fish, heavier weight, more money when they allow the fish to grow to its mature size and then sell it. They will see more benefits than taking out the smaller ones to satisfy that plate fish market.
Now, sometime when I come on the beach and see what the fishermen bring to shore, it's a shame to see.
10 years ago when I used to come here, we didn't have compressor out here. You add free-lungs diving, and free-lungs diving can go between the reef and the rocks.
That they need to put in some conservation laws. That diving with compressor and things, that would definitely kill whatever you have. Because you are taking the adult from down there that reproduce. That's the reason why we don't allow scuba diving for commercial fishing in Belize. Because you can go deeper, and we believe that the brood stock is outside the barrier along the drop-off. And if you take scuba and go there, then you'll take all of them, and there will be no lobster or conch leaf there to reproduce.
I do believe our fishing industry in Belize is still quite healthy because of the species that we harvest. We are not really harvesting the reef grazers right now, because once you start to harvest the reef grazers, you're actually harvesting the reef itself.
Belize is recognized as taking a lead in protecting its marine resources. Threatened by overfishing, it is now home to an ever-expanding network of marine protected areas. Led by the Nature Conservancy, a team of 10 Jamaicans, including fishers, a representative from the Fisheries Division, and the Jamaica Coast Guard, visited Belize to learn about fisheries conservation.
When we went into the boat and we could see the big fishes, I didn't know that fish could get that big.
I can't believe I'm so close to fish swimming in the ocean. It's unbelievable.
It's amazing. I can't believe so much fish left. You have to go tell them why. Or even carry some of them come.
We used to catch a lot of fish. I mean, fish was very easy. All along the beach shore, there's jacks, there's snappers. I mean, everything. We used to go and set gill nets. We fished them out. That started to like kind of sensitize us that something is going wrong here, you know. But we didn't want to stop. I mean, we grew up that the fish, they would still come back, you know, because God always make fish, and so fish cannot done, but it's not true.
I was quite amazed because I had looked at cases in Jamaica where we say we can't build it back, we can't save it, we have no choice. You know, when it's gone, it's gone. But going to Belize had really opened my eyes to a lot of alternatives. Because when I go to Belize and see how they protect their area and zone their reef and save it, and when I say I went there and snorkel and look at what they got there, I've never known that I would ever saw that amount of fish in one place at any one time. And you know, that's what brings back my hopes, and that build my courage a lot. So it motivates me and helps me and boosting me to try and work harder with the fishermen to save these reefs. And if we protect the reef, then we have a chance.
Any effective management of fisheries in Jamaica is to work, of course, with the communities and the fisher folk. And one of the most basic needs that needs to be addressed is education.
First, we educated. We spent our first year educating, just talking to the fishermen. This is the area, these are the boundaries, this is what is allowed. The second year, we concentrated on warnings. Listen, you should not do this. We made a note of it so they knew that we were keeping records of their warning. And by the third year, we went to what we call zero tolerance. We weren't warning anymore. There was infraction, you were arrested and prosecuted.
Fisheries officers and park rangers, you know, and you need to check your catch. And we just go there and check through their conchs or lobster or whatever. If we see one there that looks small, we have a caliper that we use to measure the lobster, the cape length, and we go from boat to boat. And if someone is there that we don't really trust, we check them more than how we check someone else that we have more confidence in. So after I arrested the 22 fishermen in 1 week, they got the sense and they started walking a straight line. You know?
They are now reaping the benefits. They have trained their fishermen to find other means of livelihood. They have also let the guests that come to Belize know that at certain time of year they cannot get particular fish to eat, and how they can enjoy just looking at the fish. By coming together and working together, they have seen the benefits, and there are still ongoing educational drives and programs being put in place and research being done.
We are very fortunate that the fishermen have come a long way. From years ago, when even the mention of marine protected areas was something that would put fire on their tongue, and you know, they are now the ones that are suggesting that we have more protected areas. Some hard decisions have to be made. Somebody has to determine when it is time to set a moratorium and do the enforcement to make sure that it happens. Certainly in the case of Laughing Bird Key, we have seen such a great restocking of marine resources in the last 3 or 4 years. So it doesn't necessarily take that long a time if it is properly managed.
There's no spearfishing allowed. And then these guys want to spearfish. And I always explain to them, I say, oh, here has a lot of fish now. I said, but before we banned the spearfishing, was there a lot of fish? There was not a lot of fish. He said, like down south of the reserve, there is no fish. I asked, so why there is no fish down there? I said, because we strike them. I said, how long will it take if we say, okay, you can use spear gun in the reserve? How long will it take again for there to be no fishes here?
We also need in Jamaica to beef up our enforcement so that persons will understand that we're just not talking about preservation, we're actually looking out to make sure that people are understanding and doing what it takes to preserve.
You really don't care as long as it's there for you to make $1. And then what a lot of people don't realize, and what I try to teach people, what will happen when there is no more? What will you do? You can't make them.
Sometimes you got a big lobster. Man, it's kind of rough, but you see it with all these spawn. You want this lobster, but you know you're doing wrong because you know you're killing out millions of baby lobster. And we have it as a law here that you cannot catch them, but if nobody see you catching it, you'll catch it because they want an extra $20 or that extra $50, not knowing that you're killing off $1 million, you know, or 500,000, you know. So eventually it got to be you the person, got to get that.
Being in Belize and the fishing exchange program was really an experience for me. It opened my eyes to what are the wrong things that we are doing in Jamaica here, and how different things can be if we stop the bad practice that we are practicing here.
We used to say that PJ Bank cannot done, but now we are seeing it for our own self. If I take the last fish today, what the kids down the road is going to get tomorrow.
We close off an area, especially the breeding ground for fish. They will get an opportunity to grow, multiply, and then the fling-off effect will be that there'll be more fish. Tourists can come in and look at the fish. Our children can know what the fish look like, and they will not become extinct. So it will have a spill-off effect that will benefit everybody.
Could take up that challenge of preserving our reefs, our corals, and the places where the fish should breed and feed, you know.
More than 70% of the world fisheries are already fully exploited or overfished. Coral reefs in the Caribbean are some of the most threatened in the world, and yet they provide us with goods and services valued at some $4.6 billion a year. Countries like Belize have taken proactive steps towards protecting their fisheries and reefs, establishing marine protected areas, and enforcing management regulations to ensure fish for today and the future. If we want to safeguard our fishing industry and protect our marine resources, the Jamaican government, Jamaican consumers, and fishers who enjoy the beauty and bounty of our seas must follow the example of countries like Belize. Otherwise, Massa God fish are got done.